Hey everyone, welcome to the Realty.com Pro webinar. First, I want to thank eXp for having us. We are super excited to be working with all of you guys. We have a ton of great partners over at eXp. Today is obviously geared around the Pro membership. My name is Donnie Crouch. I'm the Vice President of Sales, joined here with my good friend and colleague, Tony. Tony, I don't know if you want to say hi.
Hi, everyone. Tony Figueroa. Most of you probably know me or my wife, Veronica Figueroa. I am the SVP of Enterprise Relationships and Growth for Realty.com. And I'm excited to be here, not only as a partner with Realty.com, but also as a leader with Realty.com as well. So, Donnie, I'm ready when you are.
All right, let's do it. So, again, guys, obviously we're going to cover the Pro membership today with Realty.com, what that is, how thousands upon thousands of agents are leveraging this tool, to scale and promote their businesses. There's really three topics that we're going to touch on today and how the Pro membership is meant to really hit on each of those topics. The three being lead generation, lead follow-up, and branding. Okay, so the very first thing I want to talk about is the branding aspect of it. Now, Tony, obviously you and Veronica, that's your thing, right? Branding is a very difficult thing to do, however, and it's a long-term play. A lot of agents have IDX sites or they have social media or different things that they're doing, but it's very difficult because it takes a lot of consistency, hard work, and at the end of the day, fact of the matter is it's very difficult to rank in comparison on Google, Bing, etc., to Zillow, to us, to Realtor, and all of these other bigger sites that are, investing millions of dollars into marketing. So the very first thing that you guys are going to get is this nationally branded IDX site. Now, what does that do for you as the agent? Again, most agents should have an IDX site. If you don't have one, you need to get one. But there's a few issues with an agent IDX site. I've talked to so many agents at this point, and for the vast majority of them, their IDX site is not doing very much for them, whether it's not getting traffic, not generating leads, not populating. There's a few reasons for that. Number one is, again, they're difficult to find, right? When you think of the journey of, your average buyer and seller, they're typically not going to an agent IDX site. The other issue with it is, even if they find their way to your site, for most cases, they're limited to just searching within your MLS, right? Wherever you're locally searched. Now with the Realty.com, we're kind of pairing both of those things together. We're utilizing the Realty.com high-ranking domain name, okay, all of the marketing that we utilize, paired with having a nationally branded site to you guys, so where you can keep buyers and sellers within your ecosystem, regardless of where they search. And so whether I'm based in Columbus myself, maybe I have a buyer looking for a second home in Florida, as an example, they can now utilize my site. So basically what you're going to get, again, this is going to be the standard page here. You see Lance Custon, who is our CEO and founder. So anytime a buyer, seller, investor lands on your page, they can search anywhere they want across the country. So Lance is based in Boca Raton, Florida, but they could go to Houston, Texas. They could go to Sarasota, Florida. They can go anywhere they want across the country, right? And any action taken on this site, whether that's a buyer saving a property listing, requesting a tour, we're going to collect that information and that gets sent immediately to you guys. So branding, super, super important. The next thing is lead generation. Now, obviously, branding plays a big part in lead generation. Tony, you could probably speak to that more so than anybody else, and how growing a brand is so critical in driving organic leads. What's your experience been like with that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely branding is key, no matter what business you're in at all. You're always looking to get your name out there, your brand out there in several different avenues. You can't just focus on one avenue. I mean, your branding has to go from your emails to your social media, to your advertisement that you're doing, to your mailers. I mean, but you want to keep it consistent. That's the biggest thing. Utilize it consistently, and also, do it consistently on social media, no matter what you're posting on there. And it's definitely going to work for you. But it is a long-term thing. It's not something that you're going to do this week and then next week you're going to blow up. So be patient, stay consistent, and it definitely will work for you.
Yeah, stuff takes time. for sure. I think that if anything is taken away from this webinar, it's that stuff takes time in any industry, especially real estate. So obviously pro membership, we want you guys to rank better on Google, on Bing, where consumers are searching. We want them to find your page. Now we pair that with additional lead generation. And so what you guys would have the ability to do is to capture what we call our frenzy leads. Basically what frenzy leads are is anytime realty.com captures a lead opportunity on the site. Let's say it's a buyer requesting a tour, a seller raising their hand and saying, hey, I want to cash offer my property. We're going to claim that opportunity and we're going to blast that out to all of our pro members in that area on a first to claim basis. Now, the nice thing is if you are the first to claim it, that lead is exclusively yours. There's no additional fees. There's no referral fees, setup fees, anything like that. Right. So once you claim that opportunity, you're not competing with, 5, 10 other agents through the realty.com product. And so what you guys will have the ability to do is to come in here and list up to 25 different service areas. This is something I believe is really important for those of you that have done lead generation in the past, whether you are doing PPC, you're going through Zillow, maybe even us. For the most part, you're condensed to just operating out of zip codes. Right. So maybe you have a market share of zip code with Realtor or with Zillow. With your realty.com pro membership, we want to give you the ability to cast a wide net. Right. And so the 25 service areas that you select are 25 cities, and that will be encompassing of every single zip code within that city. Okay. So the more the merrier. Obviously, we always encourage people to list the full allotted 25 service areas. Because that is just going to boost the likelihood that you get more volume and then more opportunities to capture those leads. Right?
Yeah, you guys, let's utilize this tool. This is a very important tool. A lot of you might just be thinking, unilaterally and just saying, oh, well, I just live in Orlando or I just live in Boca Raton and I just want, this area. But for those of you who are looking to expand or might have expansion partners or might have expansion teams in other cities and other states, utilize that. Grab those cities that you have a partner. When I say a partner, that means they actually know you, you're in communication with them, and they're going to answer their phone. You can get that lead. Let's say I'm in Boca Raton and I get a lead in California. I have a partner in California. I know that if I pick that phone up and I capture that lead, I know that I can service that lead through my partner in California. So utilize this tool with those 25 different cities. That is huge. That's not something that you can get through some of these other online lead generation, the Big Z, Realtor, stuff like that. They're not just offering you to get 25 cities anywhere you want. So that's a huge, huge advantage that we offer and that you guys can utilize and be very effective with it if you do it the right way.
Yep, absolutely. And so from a lead gen standpoint, I hear this, like you ask the average agent, what does your business need? 9 times out of 10, I need leads. The fact of the matter is, as agents, I'm guilty of it myself. I'm an agent. We want engaged leads, right? We want people that are looking to actively buy, actively sell, right, within the next 6 to 12 months. Fact of the matter is, most people are much further out than that. However, it's important to know where your leads fall within the pipeline, right? Which ones are active now, which ones are 6 months out, which ones are down the road. And so another thing that you're able to do with your pro membership is you can be alerted anytime your leads take really any action whatsoever, right? And so this is huge when it comes to retargeting or staying top of mind with your most active leads. Now, this is not an excuse to not follow up with the nurture leads, and we're going to show you how you can do that as well with your pro membership. But it is very important to understand of the leads that I have, how many are active, how many are setting, say, property searches or checking out the home value calculator, anything of the sort, right? So you guys can be alerted anytime this is happening. That way you can stay top of mind with the consumer. Now, keep in mind, guys, if you're anything like me, when I first got started, I wanted to use every platform out there. And what ended up happening is I would have 10, 15 different systems that I'm operating out of. And as a result, stuff starts slipping through the cracks, right? With your pro membership, we actually integrate with every major CRM there is. And so anytime you capture these leads, same with the notifications, we can push that straight through to your existing CRM. From there, you can use your own automations, your own smart plans, your own task reminders, all of that good stuff that you're already used to using. You can set that up to where it's basically plug and play. We'll touch on it here in a bit. We have a coaching tab that I'm sure you guys see at the top left there. We have a ton of resources to help you guys with that stuff as well, right? You're going to get access to things like a 365-day automated drip campaign, ongoing webinars, scripting, objection handlers, all kinds of different stuff that you can implement into, again, your existing system to utilize not only for your realty.com stuff, but the rest of your business. That's the goal. Now, with the pro membership, we do have an app as well. That's a common question that we get in terms of how do I actually claim these opportunities once they come through. As you can see here, we can email you, we can text you, we can send basic portal notifications, but we also have an iOS and Android app to where once these leads come through, it's as simple as clicking a button, claim that opportunity. Once it's yours, we'll release the information to you, and that's it. That lead stays within your database. Okay. All right. Next thing I want to jump into, this is, in my opinion, the most important thing when it comes to anybody's business, let alone lead generation. And it's probably the number one thing that most agents either overlook or are not doing properly, which is lead follow-up. Tony, before I dive into this, I want to get your feedback on that because you've traveled all over the world at this point, talking with agents, obviously working alongside Veronica in terms of following up and building such a great team that you guys have an organization. What's your opinion? What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Everyone knows this. Follow-up is key to any business, right? If you're not following up, chances are no one's even going to follow up with you. You know, this is going to be something that if a client is looking to buy a house, they're waiting for someone to help them, right? So if you don't follow up with them and someone else does, oh, you're going to lose that client, right? So your follow-up game needs to be consistent once again. And you need to try it every way that you can. Text, phone, email, call, social media, drop in their DMs. There's so many different ways to follow up. And when I say follow up, I'm not saying let's nag them to death. Just add value. Always want to add value to whatever message you're sending, or whatever voicemail that you're leaving, whatever email you're sending them. Just make sure you're adding value and letting them know that you're there for them. The worst thing you can do is call or text and do all those follow-ups with commission breath. Because once you have commission breath, you sound desperate, right? So instead, you want to try to just add value to any message or text message or emails that you're sending. If you're sending them with the intent of just giving that person on the other side some added value and comfort, chances are they're going to give you a call back.
Yeah, I think that's super, super important when it comes to following up. I cannot stand the typical sales follow-up of, hey, this is Donnie, I'm just following up, right? That's when you become a pest. And I find it so funny because, again, all the agents I work with, there's this common fear that I am being a pest or I am nagging the client. And what we see as a result is agents are not following up enough. In reality, they're following up 2 to 3 times. And it actually takes about 15 plus contact attempts is what the data shows, right? In order to get engagement from the consumer. And so it's less important about the number of times you're following up in terms of whether you're nagging the client or not, and more so about, are you providing value? Are you leading off with value? So I think that's a really, really important point to make. So needless to say, with your pro membership, we give you the ability to utilize campaigns that are based around value. Now, I want to make it clear, because this is also a common question we get with all of our partners. Is this meant to replace what I'm already doing? The answer is no. This is meant to complement it, right? You should still be doing your text. You should still be making calls. You should still be using the automations that you have within your CRM. Again, statistically speaking, most agents, even doing everything that they're doing, they're still not following up enough. And so this is simply meant to be an additional touch point to provide more information to the consumer, right? And again, provide value. All of the things within our reports that we send to either a homeowner or a buyer is exactly that. It's based around the value of what that consumer is after. Now, the nice thing with the pro membership in general, but specifically with the campaigns, you're not limited to just using realty.com stuff with these campaigns. You have the ability to upload all of your leads, right? We don't care where they come from. It could be sphere of influence, could be a FSBO you just met yesterday. You can upload them into your pro membership, set them up on these campaigns, select the frequency in which you want to send them, and you will be alerted anytime that consumer does anything, whether they are saving property listings, like I said earlier, requesting cash offers. You also get in-depth statistics, as you guys can see here, on the performance of those campaigns. How many have been sent, delivered, how many have clicked through, opened, etc. So I will go through real quickly how you do that, but rest assured we have plenty of resources to help you guys get set up once you do get started with your pro membership. But again, it's as simple as either we're going to create a lead, say we just met somebody that we want to add, name, phone number, email. We're going to have 2 campaign types that we can utilize: a home value, which is for all of your sellers, and a market value, which is for all of your buyers. Frequency of which you want to send that campaign, and then their location will either be their address or the city in which they're searching. Okay. Again, you can import them all as well straight from your CRM by just going to your CRM, downloading a file of those leads, dropping them. It's plug and play from there, and you guys are all set. Okay, so again, lead follow-up, super, super important. We provide a ton of additional resources to help you guys with that. At least I have, Tony, I'm sure you have as well, spoken with many agents that, whether they're fearful or they don't fully understand how to get the automations in place within their own databases, we can help with all of that, right? So the coaching tab that you guys have, working with, people such as myself, Tony, the rest of our team, our goal is to help you guys win at the end of the day, not only with realty.com, but with your entire business. So.
Yeah, definitely. Use us, utilize us. Our information's there on the website. Many of you probably have my number or maybe Veronica's number. And we've been doing this for quite a while. So if you need help with your CRM, with any automation, with your follow-up, your campaigns, even if you don't utilize it on our portal and you want to use it on your own CRM, we integrate with pretty much every CRM that's out there. And if we don't, we'll figure it out for you. But if you're using AI as well, that's a great option. If you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me as well, because we're utilizing some amazing platforms on our team as well. So I'm happy to share that with whoever wants me to share that with you, but it's definitely a must. Campaigns are a must. That's part of your follow-up. It's very important. And once again, it's not to be annoying to your clients. It's just to add value and give them free information that's going to help them make decisions about their home buying or selling interactions.
Something that you had mentioned earlier, Tony, that I think is important to note is commission breadth is the way that you put it. And I built out myself a million different automation smart plans, helped agents out with that, and also have looked at automations that agents have in place. And what I have found, and I'm interested to hear your opinion on it, the majority of agents out there, they have the end goal in mind, which is conversion, right? We want buyers to buy with us. We want sellers to list with us, of course. But as a result, every single thing that we send has that messaging in it, right? Let's get you pre-approved. Let's start looking at houses. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I think that misses a critical first step, which is simply to get engagement, right? We want the buyer or seller to reply to us, right? To say, yeah, Tony, I appreciate that information. Let's have a conversation about it. Does that mean that sellers are replying and saying, hey, Tony, come list my home? No, but that doesn't happen very often. And so with our campaigns, that's effectively what it's geared towards, is providing them with value information. But key part of that is to have different calls to action to get engagement. one primary CTA we have on the seller side is we'll give them a rough idea of what their home's worth. Typically, it's going to be a range. Could be between 350 to 400,000 as an example. We don't want to give them an exact number, right? Because at the end of the day, you give them an exact number. From there, they don't see any more value, any more reason to reach out. You've probably experienced this as well, Tony, and I'm sure Veronica has, and your entire team. There are a ton of homeowners out there that are emotionally attached to their properties. And as a result, they think their home is worth more than it actually is. And so, again, one of the CTAs we use is we'll put these numbers in front of their face. We think your home's worth this. And then we have a button to adjust their home valuation. If you think that we're wrong, reach out and tell us about it so we can correct it. Does that mean they're reaching out saying, I'm ready to list my home? Not necessarily. Again, some do. But what that does is it starts the conversation so you can understand, why are they poking around looking at the value of their home? Are they thinking about moving in the near future? And once you have that first step of engagement, you meet with them face to face, you build that rapport and trust, you're going to win that client for life. But that's the critical first step. Tony, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, any opinions on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to entice engagement from your clients. Once again, you're there to add value. You want them to respond to your messaging, just like he stated. Clients typically like to correct anyone who they feel is wrong. So if they feel you're like he was saying about the home value, if they feel that the home value is wrong, and you can put that in your messaging. Hey, if you feel the home value is a little bit low or not what you thought, please let me know what you think it is or what you know it's worth from maybe an appraisal that you received, or maybe another agent telling you what the home is worth, and we can definitely make the adjustment. So right there, you're opening a window for them to correct you, and people love to correct other people, unfortunately. The other thing that I want to put out there as well, as far as when you're following up, or even when you're starting a new relationship, because you're building a relationship, that's what you're doing. You're not just selling a house, you're not listing a house, you're not helping a buyer buy a house. You're building a relationship with these clients. So you always want to have as much information and resources as you possibly can. Do you have someone that can help you if they are credit challenged? Do you have a company that helps you with that? Do you have someone that can get them pre-approved before you look at a home with them? Do you have someone that could maybe, get an appraisal done prior to them even listing the home, so they know the exact value, they know the ins and outs of their house and what it looks like to an appraiser? And maybe, do you have an attorney, right? Maybe they're going through, unfortunately, a separation or divorce, and they need an attorney for that as well. By you becoming basically the yellow pages for those clients, they're going to continue to build that relationship with you because you're a wealth of knowledge to them. In essence, you're like their Google agent, right? They're going to go to you for that question and for the answer, because now in their mind, you're the professional because you have all those resources in your pocket. But once again, you need to build those relationships with those other resources as well. So in a nutshell, relationship is key no matter what you're doing, whether you're speaking with a client or you're building your resources. But you should definitely have all of that in your pocket at all times.
Yep, for sure. Last thing I want to touch on with you guys in regard to the leads themselves. I know obviously buyer leads are typically plentiful when it comes to lead generation. Sellers, not so much. And so with your pro membership, I want to make it clear, you guys get both buyers and sellers. Now, in regard to the sellers, I want to give you guys a little bit more context as to the type of sellers, right? And we hear it all the time, Tony, the lead quality, right, behind what those sellers are. And like we mentioned earlier, as agents, really what we're after are engaged leads. And so with the seller opportunities that we generate, that is really what we're trying to capture, is intent, right? Do you want to sell your home? And so what we find is these homeowners will come onto the platform and they'll say, hey, Tony, I want a cash offer on my property on 123 Main Street. Now, even further than that is we're not just running an ad to get a name, phone number, and email, right? We're trying to ask them a number of questions to better understand and further qualify their situation before they're even captured as a seller lead. Things like, why do you want to sell? Maybe they're getting a divorce or they inherited the property. How much do you want for the property? When do you want to be out of the property? What's the occupancy status of the property? So they go through all of these questions before they're captured as a lead to, again, further qualify and show what type of intent that potential seller has. Now, what we've seen data-wise is that these seller leads can transact 15+% over an 18-month time span. And we have many partners doing even better than that. The question becomes, who do they transact with? And the unfortunate truth is that's not always the agent that gets the lead. That's where you come in as the agent and utilizing all of these systems, right? All of the coaching and support that we have to ensure you're staying top of mind so that when that seller does decide, okay, you know, maybe a cash offer isn't for me because it's not going to give me the most amount, right? And I do want to list, you're the go-to agent for that. Okay, so Tony, I want to give you a chance to wrap things up because you guys have firsthand experience working with these seller leads that are raising their hand, wanting, you know, cash offers on their home. Obviously, you have the ability to facilitate that. But even more so than that is you guys are one of the agents that are winning listings from this. So I want to, you know, give you the opportunity to, you know, kind of give your firsthand experience with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, leads are leads are leads. Some are more expensive than others. We probably have over 7 different lead sources on the Figueroa team. And, you know, it doesn't really matter how much you're paying for them. Some are good, some are bad, right? I could be paying a 50% referral on some of the leads and not, you know, only get a couple and they're okay leads. Or I could be getting leads for $75 a lead, not paying a referral fee, and I'm just crushing it. And right now that's the case. You know, Realty.com seller leads right now are insane. I mean, we are getting them left and right. People, the amount of people that want cash offers on their home. And you know what? I know cash offers, a lot of you guys are going to say, oh, cash offers, they're the clients, it doesn't do service to the client because they're not going to get the most amount. Well, we know that as agents, right? We're utilizing this, that the hand raising that they're saying, hey, I want a cash offer on my house, as a chance to get in their home, to build a relationship, to then show them and give them the options of cash offer. Maybe you have a pocket investor. Maybe, you know, you show them a couple of different cash offers from different companies as well, because it's not just one cash offer company out there. Yeah, you have Homeward, you have OfferPad, you know, several other ones, but this is your option to show them, once again, who you are, the resources you have in your pocket, how you can assist them with selling their home, and give them the option, right? Don't always make the decision for that person because you don't know the urgency that they have unless they tell you straight up, hey, I need to sell this house in a week. I don't care about price. Give me a cash offer. I'm out. Those are very far and few between, right? So we utilize this to say, hey, okay, you want a cash offer? Here's the cash offer that we currently have in order to make sure that this is as close to market value as possible. The way it works is we just need to get some pictures and maybe walk through your property. What day is best for me to come by, take a couple pictures of the inside of your home and the outside, and walk through with you so you can tell me anything that you've added or removed from the house that has made it better than the other homes in the neighborhood. That typically works probably 90% of the time. They will immediately be like, yeah, sure, come on over. Or if they don't want anybody in their house, you could also say, hey, do you mind taking some pictures of the inside and the outside and sending those over to me? Typically what happens there is they don't have the time. They're like, you know what, just come over, take the pictures so we can move forward. And then while you're there, you say, okay, well, thank you for allowing me to take the pictures, do the walkthrough. Would you like me to explain to you the other options that are available to you while I'm here? Typically, you're going to be able to do that. You're going to have a sit down with them. And that's when you can really have that heart-to-heart conversation with that client to find out where they're at in their life and what it is that they are looking for. Because there's not going to be an audience. There's no, you know, phone or computer in between you guys. It's a heart-to-heart talk. So we have a lot of success with that, and we are crushing the listings right now. I can tell you that. And there are plenty of other teams and individual agents across, the country that are crushing it as well. You just have to be diligent, consistent, get your branding out there, and show your value. That's the biggest thing.
Yep, that's what it comes down to. So again, guys, with the seller leads, ultimately what we're trying to capture is that intent, right? We're trying to find sellers that have some reason to sell their home. From there, rest assured, we have people like Tony, myself, and entire coaching staff that are there to assist you guys with any scripting practices, procedures. We're basically going to give you the playbook on how to convert these leads. From there, it always falls back to doing the work. That's the fact of the matter. You got to do the work. But again, I want to thank EXP for having both Tony and I today. We're very proud partners of EXP. Love working with all of you guys. Even if you're not a current client, if there's anything that I can do, I'm sure that goes for Tony as well. Feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. But again, thank you, EXP, for having us, and look forward to working with more of you guys.
Thank you, guys.